Okay, well, my name is Blake. I'm going on 41 years old. I've been coming to New Day for 15 years. We started back in 2010. Prior to that, I was a Catholic. I grew up Catholic. I was not really all that into going to church and didn't really practice anything like that. Fast forward through my teens and into my 20s, my mom had found a church, and she was at the time suffering from Sjogren's syndrome, and she had gone to church, and they prayed for her, and through the Spirit, which I didn't know back then, but I know now, she, got healed to some degree. And that kind of like sparked a real interest in me. So I would go to church with her every once in a while, but I wasn't really all that interested in it. She would, have me go to the Christmas shows and, other concerts that were there. But, other than that, I wasn't too interested. In my late teens and 20s, I did have an alcohol problem and a drug problem. And I really didn't think all that much of it. Although I believed in God at that time, I wasn't, really caring what he thought about what I was doing. Looking back on it, took a toll on me mentally, for sure. My mom and some of my friends found out, what I was doing, and, they obviously weren't all that thrilled about it. My mom found a prayer group through the church that she was going to, that she was faithfully going to. And the prayer group would pray for me, and she would tell me about it. And I was thankful, but still not all that interested. Fast forward through the years, I quit doing the hard drugs that I was doing, but I was still drinking and, not talking all that well, and still not really all that interested in God myself. But once we started coming to New Day, the message really started getting through and clear to me. When Mike and Andrew would get up and preach, I almost felt like the sermons were talking to me personally. We were really involved in the church, made a lot of friends, did a lot of groups, and, slowly but surely I could feel God working in my life. And I was really never a reader, even still back then, so the stuff that I got was basically just from people at church that we were hanging around with and the groups that we were in. As time went on, I would get convicted, slowly, of my language, of, what I'm looking at on the internet, smoking and, other drug use, so all that stuff started getting chipped away because I would get convicted. I started taking my faith seriously, which was honestly just a couple of years ago. Slowly but surely, these things got whittled away in my life, and really, it's been a long process, a 20-year process. My mother gave me a Bible back in 2000, and it took me 20 years to open it. I'm glad I did, and it's one of the Bibles that I read out of most often now these days. Things in our life have shifted around a little bit, but I faithfully have come and just over the years just kept on growing my faith in the Lord, and have tried to be that example. And me and my wife are actually 3 years sober this past year, because we both had an alcohol problem. Raising kids around that, thankfully, my kids are so awesome that they watched us go through this, and they tell us how happy they are that we're on the other side. From reading the Bible and being in the groups and coming to church and having God whittle these things out of my life more and more and more, he started to reveal himself more and more to me. I feel that it's been more steps forward than more steps back, because now I'm conscious about what I'm doing, what I'm saying, who I'm hanging around with, where I'm going, what I'm looking at on the internet, what I'm thinking. I have learned to fear God as my Father. So, like, just thinking God was some genie before, you didn't need to fear him. So now I look at him like my Father, him being, loving, but also, wanting me on the right path and willing to discipline me, when I'm not on that path. Us three got baptized, and it was great. It was we were happy, we were excited, still nervous because we're up in front of everybody, but it was a great feeling. But being baptized, I think, kind of catapulted my wanting to be clean, be on that other side. So the baptism kind of catapulted me into getting that part of my life cleaned up and leading by example. Knowing that God loves me, knowing that, Christ died on the cross for me and my sins, is just so relieving, and it makes me happy. I'm happy now, where before I was just a vengeful person. I was, you did me wrong, I'm gonna look to get you. I have a peace in me now that I never had in me before, and it's just an overwhelming joy to have.